Hey guys, Iceman here. How's it going, bro? So, for those of you who don't know, for those of you who are new to my channel, this is Diablo 2. This is arguably the best Diablo game yet. Of course, the atmosphere and environment of Diablo 1 rocks. But this is Diablo 2, bro. Things are rare in Diablo 2. You see, you go around, you kill shit. You can play like 6 months, you can play like a year, and not find the godly item that you want. It's rare, man. And there's a demand for the stuff. And gear is shared, you know? Shit falls on the ground, and you have people in your party, and you all scramble to it. There's a competitive edge. There's trade. Unlike Diablo 3. You can actually trade. You can actually interact with other folks. You can actually partake in the creation and other aspects of the economy. That's right. You build the economy in this game, collectively. And it always ends up being the same when you restart the ladder, because the ladder restarts every couple months, every 6 months or so. And everyone starts over, and you start finding this shit, and the rarity of things demands their value, and obviously the use of the things. So it's nice that you can partake in this greater cause. You can partake in this world that's much larger than yourself in a social way. And Diablo 3 lacks all of that. They took trade away from the players. They took open loot away from the players. It's all individual loot. It's private loot based on the person playing. So the social aspect in Diablo 3 has been nearly obliterated. That's fucked up, man. Now, of course, Diablo 4 could learn a lot from that, right? But we're talking about what a lot of us want and need. Which, yes, is Diablo 4, but also Diablo 2 Remastered. This game rocks, man. And it needs to be remastered, right? Because there are some basic things that could do it very well. Like, for one, it's in this old 4:3 ratio. Of course, that makes a nice little slot for Iceman to have his little camera down in the corner and a nice whammon up here. Yeah. But I could work around that if it were widescreen. I remember it was a bitch when I first started playing Diablo 2 again, only about 5 or 6 months ago. It was a bitch to transition back to the old school aspect ratio of games, which is this 4:3 square ratio. It sucks. But I got used to it quick. Now all I've been playing is Diablo 3. So for those of you who stepped away from Diablo 2 just thinking you just don't supposed to play that anymore because Diablo 3 is out, I encourage you to reconsider, bruh. Come back to Diablo 2. For one, the more people on Diablo 2, the better. There are already more players, to my understanding, playing Diablo 2 than Diablo 3 on PC. It's pretty nuts, because this game is old. But that's very telling. And that's helpful. Because Blizzard needs to know that they fucked something up somewhere down the line. They took trading away. They took rare drops away and replaced it with just giving everyone the GG items in Diablo 3. Even giving you the set and making all the meta builds reliant on sets. Like you just have to match all the greens together. There's no customization in D3 like there is in D2. They took away the stat points and all that stuff. It sucks. And it didn't take long for us all to realize it. But they need to remaster Diablo 2 and do it right. And the more people who like this video, and I do like likes, and patrons, become a patron if you want, but the more people to like this damn video, the closer it's going to get to becoming a reality. You know? Blizzard needs to know that. We want this game to be remastered. And obviously, I understand they could fuck it up. Like they have a lot of things, right? As of lately. But if they do, we can always just still play this game. So we want a remaster of this game, but they sure as hell better keep this game up. So if they fuck up the remaster, we can still play this one. The original one. But dude, in a remaster, there's a lot of things that could be better. And let me know if you guys agree with me on this, alright? For one, simple shit. Give us a full aspect ratio, 16:9 widescreen. I like the fact that they use sprites for the character models. Blizzard's rich as fuck. They could do it again if they want. They could redo the sprites, you know, have sprites of today. More, highly pixelated objects and sprites of real people. You know, things like that. It could be done. I know people often say it's going to be hard because they use sprites, but they still could. And I hope that they do. So still use sprites, man. Don't fuck that up. You know, it looks awesome. But there are other things that they could do, and I even made a little list. Okay. Larger stash. Refined graphics. Widescreen. Right. Larger stash. Look at this stash, man. This is shit. We need a huge stash that takes up like the whole screen here. And like 10 tabs worth. Now one of my subscribers noted, hey Iceman, they better not expand it too much. Because then everyone's just going to collect everything. And it's going to screw with the economy. And that's true. It's nice to have to make these impactful decisions. You can't just keep everything. You can't just be a frickin' nut hoarder. Because that's what it'll turn us into. It'll turn us into nut hoarders. And it's nice to have that decisive capability incentivized, you know? To say, do I keep this item or do I throw it down? If it was like infinity stash, you'll just keep everything. But it's nice to have that decision, you know? Remember, the more decisions, the better, okay? That's why everyone left Diablo 3. It's fucking bullshit. It's nice to have these decisions that are impactful and that have consequences. And you can't just respec your character whenever the fuck you want either. Say you screwed up on your specs. You know, I did a lot on this character, but I still haven't respec. I could, but it's costly to do that. Costly in this way. You gotta find the little parts to make the token to respec. You know, everything has its consequences, so you gotta be careful. And that's part of what adds value to the gameplay in Diablo 2. But like this fucking video, man, they have to remaster Diablo 2, right? And like I said, keep this one up as well. Just in case if you screw it up. Which we know it's likely you will. But I'm still willing to see what happens from it, you know? What could come of it? A remaster of Diablo 2. And give us Act 6. And more rune words. And more legend... Not legendaries. It's Diablo 3 lingo, right? And more unique items. And keep things rare. Keep the bear rune as rare as it fricking is, man. The Burr and Jaw and Ohm and Zod. I found a frickin' Chom rune finally this ladder. And it was awesome. It's the highest rune I found so far. I haven't found a single Jaw. Haven't found a single Burr. And here's how you keep the people from just selling all the shit on third-party websites. I know you guys might bitch about this. But that's not fun when everyone's buying shit from these fucking third-party websites, you know? Then when you start playing the game, everyone has all the fricking GG. Like a couple days into the ladder. Fuck that. So this is what they have to do. This is what I think they should consider. And don't get pissed at Iceman, alright? It's just my opinion. Let me know your counter-argument in the comments if you want. But check this out. Make an auction house. But you can't use real money in it. You can only use in-game gold. And check this out. When items fall, you could have them bound on your character. But you can put them up in the auction house, for example. And you put them up in the auction house, then they're bound to the auction house. And you can buy them from the auction house with gold. But it's going to solve the problem that Diablo 3 had, because we're not going to let people use real money to buy their shit. You know, that'll be disabled. No real money in the auction house. That would be really interesting. Or I think that could at least be used in Diablo 4. And fine, maybe that's not the best idea for Diablo 2 Remaster. Maybe we should keep it the same in terms of its trading and itemization and non-bound items. But like I said, the problem is that people are going to use third-party websites if that's the way things are. And they're going to be infested with those items, and people are going to be buying those items with real money. You know, that's going to happen if you keep it the way it is. And I guess maybe that's fine, you know? Maybe that's fine for Diablo 2 Remastered. I don't know. But let me know your thoughts. Which way do you guys want it? I would be okay with trying something a little new that will eliminate those third-party websites, because they wouldn't be possible. Because like I said, your items would bind to your character, but yet loot would be open, so everyone would see it fall, but they would bind to your character within, like, I don't know, they have like an hour timer or something. So you can't go give it off to... Bots can't go around and collect them and sell them on websites. That would be out of the question. It would be out of the realm of possibility. But they could bind to the auction house. And you could only use in-game gold in those auction houses. So it would solve the issue. People wouldn't be able to just start playing and buy shit from the auction house. You'd start playing, and you'd start collecting little bits of gold at the beginning. Then you'd look at the auction house and be like, holy shit! This Shaco costs like 100 million gold. You'll be like, it's going to take forever for me to collect that. But then you start making your way through Nightmare and Hell, and you collect all this gold, and you can finally buy yourself a Shaco. You know, things like that. But of course, you could reduce the amount of gold that falls. Like right now, a huge stack of gold is like 30,000 gold. In the remastered version, you could rework gold and only have like in Hell mode with a lot of gold find, you'll get like 100 gold per stack, like at max, and things like that, you know? So you don't have to deal with such massive numbers. But that's just a small aspect, you know, of what I wanted to go on about in regards to the Diablo 2 Remaster. And I know that's very controversial to switch the trading and stuff up a bit in that way. But I'm just saying it's kind of sucky how people and bots will operate, and they will sell their stuff, and people will buy it for cash, and they will saturate the market with this shit. But whatever, you could just choose to be legit, you know, if you want, and not have to worry about that, I suppose, is another solution, which is what some legit folks decide to do with Diablo 2, who still want to play online. But let's stop talking about the trading for a moment, because there's one or two more things that could be done as well. Qualities of life, you know. Like, you say you find a bunch of L runes. You could stack them, you know, stackable runes, so they don't take up so much space. You could stack your runes, and here's another big thing. And this might be controversial as well, but I think it would be a good idea for the remaster. You see, in Diablo 2, obviously, we have two buttons that instantly will activate a skill. Obviously, you can have F1, F2, F3, F4, all the way up to F12 for any of these skills. So you can hit it over, and then, but the problem is, when you do that, here, I'll show you right here. You can, I'll go with Plague Javelin and Lightning Fury. I hit F1, and then I right-click, and Lightning Fury. I hit F2, I right-click, and there's this Plague Javelin. But the problem is, these aren't active action buttons. You know, they just reassign what's on your right click. I would like to have active action buttons, like in Diablo 3, where you have a skill belt, where I could say press F4 or press F2, and I will instantly cast Valkyrie, or instantly, you know, cast Blizzard, or turn on Thunderstorm, or turn on Chilling Armor, and things like that. Just an active action skill belt that you can assign skills to, I think would be a good addition. You know, it's just, I think it would just make for a more efficient combat system if they were to add something like that. And obviously you wouldn't have to use it if you don't like it. You know, if you want it to be pure Diablo 2 in terms of its mechanics, you don't have to use the frickin' action belt slots, but I think it would be nice to have. Then you don't have to keep hitting F1, F2, F5, or scroll on your little mouse wheel, and then keep right-clicking just to pass the damn skill. Just to cast the skill, you know what I mean? Because there's like basically 2 buttons you have to hit right now to cast a different skill. You gotta hit your F2 to reassign it, and then right-click to cast. But if you have the action belt, you just hit F2 and it would cast the fucking skill. And I think that would be optimal. But anyway, yeah, this Diablo mobile game, as most of us know, it's fucking bullshit. Nobody wanted it. But fortunately they have other projects in mind, and a remastered Diablo I think would be a great idea. But let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about Iceman's ideas regarding a Diablo 2 remastered game? And even if they screw it up, they're going to keep this one up. It's going to be our request, so we could still play this one if we wanted to. You know, I think it's worth a shot to see what happens. But if you guys will like this damn video, become a patron if you want. Link in the description below. More videos to come. Peace be with you. Bruh.